We live an almost perfect life.
We live in peace.
We live in a democracy.
We live in a social welfare system.
We even live as a lake.
And we live in a community. This is the Uferwerk. About 160 people live here, including 60 kids. And it's a housing society about half an hour from central Berlin. As a family, we have our own flat, but we share the garden and a lot of other stuff. And we even have a sauna on a boat for the winter. But besides all of these material things, this is a place where we belong, that feels home, because of the people that live here and whom we share all of these things with. People that ask you in the morning when you go to work how you are, people that notice if you haven't been around for a while, people that come and help if you send an email that you need some help with something, and many people who have become friends over the years. So with everything here being so good, why do we leave? This is me in Italy when I was 6 months old. And this is my daughter when she was 6 months old in Pakistan. The almost 30 years between these two photographs, I spent lots of time in other cultures. It started when my parents had bought a boat in Greece, and as a very young child, I spent lots of time on this boat while they brought it back to Germany. It continued when I lived near the Danish border in northern Germany and went to a Danish school. When I was 15, I went to Australia for a year as an exchange student. And not surprising, I studied geography and anthropology and went on field trips to Central America or northern Pakistan. For my master thesis, I went to Nias, Indonesia. I then met my wife in Berlin while studying and visited her while she was doing her studies in China. When we had our first child in 2008, we kept on traveling, doing long field trips to Pakistan for my PhD. Then we had a second and third child, and the traveling stopped. Instead, we moved here and together with many others turned this old factory slowly into a home for so many people. When seeing our kids grow up in this community, I cannot but think that there's no better way to grow up. They have a lot of friends around. They can just open the door, go outside, be free to walk around, ring on people's doors and see if somebody's there. They don't have to make an appointment to play with someone. And yet, we feel that they're sometimes missing out on something that we had. To be part of a different culture, to experience what it means to live in a different country with different rules, with different food, with a different language, and to realize that everything that is so obvious for us, logical for us, the way of living, that it's just one way of living. We had always imagined to live in China, Hawaii, or some other great place far away for some time as a family. But the more we settled down here, the less we talked about these ideas. And then, when the idea came up to go to France, we realized maybe this is the last adventure for us as a family before the oldest moves out. So this is why we are doing this. We regularly get frightened by the idea. I lay awake at night thinking this is a huge mistake. We're never gonna get the house finished in a year. The kids will have maybe problems with the language and in school to settle in. But we've made a decision and we're gonna do it, and most of the time we're really looking forward to it. If you've watched until here, you are really interested in our story, and maybe it resonates with something you did or didn't do, some time in your life where you took on an adventure like this, or something you followed before. So we'd like to get to know your story, and feel free to comment and maybe share a little bit about your lives, where you're from, what you do, what crazy things you have done in your life, what adventures you had, and tell us a little bit about yourself.